Hey guys, on this episode we got a special guest and we're going to be talking mortgages. Level 10. Hey guys, welcome to episode 34 of Ask the Agent. Special episode. We've got a guest on with us today, mortgage expert Jason Jean from the Jean Group. Jay.
Hi everybody.
Thanks so much for being on the show, man.
Glad to be here.
So we've been getting a lot of questions on mortgage lately from the viewers, so we decided to kind of package them into one show. And, I know my mortgage is at a high level, but we figured let's bring an expert on. So you ready for these questions, man?
Bring it on.
All right. So first question, Kim asks, I'd like to know if there are any city or town grants to pay towards my down payment on homes right now.
Cool. So there are often grant programs out there, and so they constantly change due to funding, really. So I would say like maybe 10, 15 years ago, there were grants all over the place. Now you've got to look a little bit closer to find them. In our marketplace, there are a few municipal grants. I know some of the larger employers also in the area do have some, such as like Bay State Medical, there's always terms and conditions behind these things, and they can only be combined with certain mortgage programs because some mortgage programs may not allow for that particular grant, because what a lot of these grants become is a silent second mortgage. And what a silent second mortgage means is like it actually gets recorded like you owe that money, and then once there's no payments made on it, okay, so then once you live in the home for whatever the specified number of years is, then that mortgage will be released and you do not have to pay it. But if you sold the property within that length of time, there may be a calculation to say you owe X amount of dollars once you receive the proceeds from the sale. So really, the towns that usually do have the grants that are around the Springfield, Massachusetts area are Springfield, Chicopee, and Holyoke. And then sometimes you'll hear of others popping up, randomly. The best thing to do is to call the city and see if they have any funding available, because they do run out of funds sometimes. And then also they change where you can utilize the money. So like in Chicopee, it used to be where you could buy anywhere in Chicopee. And then I believe in recent years, you have to purchase within certain census tracts. So it's constantly changing. Check with your lender, check with the towns themselves, and they'll be able to get you all that information.
And you can use it towards down payment or closing costs typically, or
depends on the program.
Okay.
But yeah, typically they're used for down payments.
Okay.
And then oftentimes what you guys will negotiate is the seller pays the closing costs. So if the seller's going to pay your closing costs, the town's going to chip in your down payment, we can get in there for the cost of an appraisal and inspection.
And then just quickly, dollar amounts that you'll see typically.
Usually up to like $5,000.
Okay.
Sometimes they're more, but
great.
Meeting criteria that are, so.
Jenny's next.
Jenny.
She says, what determines the rate that I get for my loan?
What determines the rate that you get? What do you think, Steve? Give me one thing.
Your credit score is going to...
Credit score is like the biggest one, right? So when people... That's why when we call it, we get people to call in our office all the time. Hey, what's your rate? Right? And it's an impossible question to answer. We have hundreds of interest rates on any given day. And that's why we and any other reputable lending institution is going to have to really pull your credit. And we can't use the credit score that you're getting on Credit Karma or your Discover card, because those are consumer credit scores. Those are not your mortgage credit scores. Those are different. So you have to have a lender pull your credit in order to get an accurate quote. So credit's the biggest thing. Credit also is often a determining factor as to whether or not we're going to go with one type of program. But the type of program has different interest rates. So like two of the bigger ones around here, conventional and FHA. Conventional and FHA have very different sets of interest rates. Loan to value is another one. What's your down payment? So that's another thing that could affect your interest rate significantly. Whether you're purchasing it as a 2-family or a single family or a 4-family, those all affect your interest rates. There's a few other things, but those are like your main, what the main criteria that all goes into calculating your interest rate. And don't forget, interest rates change every day. The mortgage-backed securities markets is what's driving the interest rates. And that's a market. Just like the stock market changes every second. It's changing. And so we spend about $1,000 a year just monitoring that market, so that way we can make the best decisions when locking in that interest rate for our clients.
Beautiful. Last question, anonymous. If I get denied from one bank, am I going to get denied everywhere?
No.
Okay.
If you get denied at one bank, that means that one bank doesn't do the mortgage that you might qualify for. And, a lot of your smaller institutions may only use Fannie Mae. And they will only go through Fannie Mae. It's a conventional loan. They can be credit score driven. They can require lower debt to income ratios. But FHA may be a little bit more flexible. So you have to make sure when you're getting pre-approved, if you don't get pre-approved at one place, don't just give up. Get a second opinion. Ask your realtor who they recommend to go to and get a second opinion, because I could stand outside some of these local credit unions and local banks with a sign that says, "Did you get denied?" And we would be able to get them into a solid 30-year fixed mortgage program because we can do some of the flexible stuff that others can't.
Yeah, so some of those local banks are just a little bit more conservative on what they're looking for.
They're great at what they do.
Yep.
But they don't do, everything.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome. That's what we got, man.
Cool.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Guys, we'll see you next Thursday. Remember, make sure you click on the link, ask us questions. We want to get them answered for you. Thanks so much.